Hello everybody, welcome to GG Files. I'm Toad Knight, and today I'm going to be reviewing Gunbrella. Gunbrella is a new Metroidvania that just got released on Steam on September 30th. It's sitting at $14.99 right now, and it's a dark, gritty, slick, fast-paced shooter Metroidvania, where you play as a man who's lost his wife and child, and you're set out for revenge against the perpetrators who caused you that pain. Just FYI, I played through all this game in one day, and it's not that long. It's only about 5 or 6 hours, so you can get through it in an evening if you want. I would recommend it. I think the story was unique, creative, very dynamic, and it's only 15 bucks. It's almost the same price as a meal, and this is much better than having a meal at whatever restaurant you're going to. I enjoyed myself, and let's get into it. The first aspect of this game that I think is going to jump out to people the most, and what is going to be the most appealing to people, is the story of the game. I enjoyed this story a lot. It is a classic story of revenge. The game starts out, you walk back to your house, there's blood covering your house, and your wife is dead and your child is missing. And next to her body is a gunbrella, an umbrella that's also a gun. And that's kind of how the game begins. It sets you off on this revenge story adventure where you're going to set out and find the killer of your wife and who kidnapped your child. And that's the whole premise of the game. Now, I won't get too deep into it, but basically, a lot of different things happen. It's not your typical revenge story. There's cultists. There's towns you have to save. There's a whole Elysium of people of higher class. It's a very interesting story and a very original story. I couldn't really put my finger on what kind of genre it was. It had kind of this plot of the higher class lived in a Elysium type place where they looked down on the lower class, but it also had this Akira element where there was cultists kind of summoning these flesh monsters. It was really cool, really original. I liked it a lot. I won't spoil anything in the story, but that's basically the basic premise and the basic kind of background of the world. The world's a post-apocalyptic world for the most part. Everyone's struggling to stay alive. There's these monsters, there's cultists, there's different factions fighting against each other, and then in the middle of it all, there's this huge place, an Elysium type place where the rich live in complete peace while the poor just starve and fade away. But there is a catch to the cozy living of the rich, and I won't get into that because it's a big spoiler, and it's a very good plot twist, and I enjoyed the game story a lot because of its originality. There were a lot of good side quests in the game, a few I didn't finish, but the side quests actually had depth to them. There's a few of them I wanted to complete, but I just didn't know how. I got this on release, so I didn't really... There was no guides to the game or anything just yet, and there's a few side quests that I didn't finish, but the ones I did, they actually were pretty rewarding in a story sense, not just a gameplay sense. Like, sure, they gave me cogs and stuff to upgrade my weapon. We'll get into that later. But they also, the story was good. I was actually interested in the side characters in this game. One of the side characters I really liked, which is an example of a side quest that you kind of do throughout the thing, and it's kind of a vague side quest, is one character will hit on you and ask you to go to the bar. Later on during the story, you need to go to this bar, a speakeasy, and she's there at the speakeasy. In the side quest, you talk to her again, the side quest girl, and she kind of hits on you again. I never ended up completing that quest, which always bothered me because I knew there was something going on there. There's like a romance story that was going on there. After we like meet her at the bar, we go on a date, we explain we lost our wife, and she understands, and she says she wants to be friends. And I would assume we meet up with her later, but I think I ruined something in that side quest. But I really wanted that side quest to go on, and that's just an example of how the side quests build out the characters you see in the world, and it's I love the way they did side quests in this game. I thought this had a lot of detail in their side quests, and I was excited to do each one. The one I did complete is kind of you'll see in the game. It's a girl bent on revenge. It's really cool. I like the side quest. The one side quest I did complete, I really like this character they introduced. They introduced a character at the beginning of the game and totally changed her towards the later half of the game. And the side quests are just great. It gets you more invested in side characters, and it gets you like more stuff in the game, but it adds on to the story and to this whole original world they're creating in the Gunbrella universe. Now let's talk about the art style of the game. As you can see immediately, Metroidvania fans will feel right at home here because I feel like there's tons of different Metroidvanias that are pixel art in this style. This style's very nice. I like what they did with it. What they did was so when you make a game like this, there's a tile set normally that they use, and it looks like they did use a tile set for all of their art in the game, all their pixel art. They just tile it in and throw it wherever they want, and kind of make the level with certain tiles instead of drawing out huge landscapes. So it looks like with the tile set, what they did is they added random tiles in different spots to kind of break up the level. Like if you look at the buildings in the towns, they have random ladders attached to them at random spots, and I think that's just to get more clutter in the city, make it look more like a city that's very unorganized, and just kind of look like there's more stuff going on, and they put that extra detail in there, and I really appreciate they did that because it does pull the game through when you're going through the levels, when you're doing the side quests, when you're looking for everything in the game. I think that's a great little touch they added to the art, and the artist really had, where the level designer slash artist had a really cool idea of kind of mishmashing things together in the city to make it look more, city-ish. Just, you go through a city and there's random ladders and just things all around, and that's really what it feels like in the cities of the game. They did a great job with the art. Close to the end of the game, they have a much less cluttered system of their art, and it looks fantastic also. I think they did a great job here with this pixel style. Let's move on to the mechanics of the game. I assume that's why 50% of you are here. Or I assume 50% of the people who are going to purchase this game are interested in the story, 50% of the people who purchase the game are interested in the mechanics. Now, I will say in the game, I was very interested in the mechanics before I played it. I'm always a mechanics over story kind of guy, but this one surprised me. The mechanics are very good, don't get me wrong. I think the story was so good in this game, it kind of blew the mechanics away from me. I love the original storytelling, but their mechanics are really good too. So the mechanics revolve around your Gunbrella. It's a gun and also an umbrella. You have a shotgun at first, and I just used the shotgun the whole time, if I'm being honest, because I didn't really see a need in using the other ammo types, which we'll get into later. But you use a shotgun, and you also use your umbrella as a shield. Now, you can pop out your umbrella, and it shoots you forward, kind of like wind's taking you up, like it's an umbrella pushing you in the wind. So you can jump, and then shoot yourself up a double jump with your umbrella parasailed out. And that's kind of the movement in the game. It's very fast. It's very snappy. You're going to be jumping around the map a lot. You jump, open your umbrella, it flings you forward. You jump, open your umbrella, it flings you up. You're going to be jumping around everywhere, especially in like boss fights and stuff. And also your Gunbrella is a shield that deflects bullets. So there's a lot of turrets in the game that shoot at you, and you got to deflect the bullets back at them. It's pretty handy that when monsters come down and try to hit you, you knock them back with your umbrella. You also can knock enemies over and paralyze them for a second with your umbrella. That's very handy. I use that a lot in some really annoying enemies where I didn't want them to get an attack off, so I just stun locked them. The combat feels extremely smooth. One of my only qualms about the mechanics is this game was a little easy, on the easy side. I see why they did it. I feel like they put a lot into their story and their side quests, so I assume they wanted players to get through their game. And so they made the comment a little bit on the easy side. I think it was a little too easy. I ended up never having to use my other bullet types. There's a bunch of different bullet types in the game. You start with a shotgun, and then you can get machine gun ammo, and then mines, and then saw blades, and then sticky grenades. And then there are a few others that I'm just forgetting right now just because I didn't really use the other ammo types. I didn't need to. The only time I needed to was probably on the final boss where I just used all my other ammo types because they're a little bit stronger than the shotgun. I just nuked them down. Which was a little cheesy, but I got it done. I don't really care about the gameplay of this one too much. I got in this game because of the mechanics, but the story really overpowered the mechanics for me. I ended up not even caring that the final boss fight was kind of easy and I kind of cheesed him. I just wanted to continue on the story, see what happened at the end. And the quickest way for me to get through the whole game is to take advantage of their upgrade system they had in the game. They have this upgrade system where you collected these cogs and you got them from side quests, you got them from killing certain monsters, you got them from killing certain turrets, just their cogs around the game, and they use these cogs to either upgrade your reload speed or upgrade your damage. There's only 2 upgrades in the game. Pretty basic, nothing really unique there. It was just your classic gather this resource and then upgrade your Gunbrella kind of system. But the damage upgrades really did help. I was able to fly through the bosses with these upgrades, and that's basically all there was to the mechanics of the game. Swift movement, a bunch of different ammo types that you really don't need because the game's a little too easy, and also an upgrade system where you can upgrade your damage or reload speed. That's about all for the mechanics. Now, I will say it does feel a little light on the mechanics, but they did feel smooth, they did feel snappy. If this was a longer game, no one would really complain about the mechanics. They're kind of simple, but they're good simple. They work good, they work well, they get the job done, and it feels good to play the game. There's nothing wrong with the mechanics, there's just not that much to them. Now for the $1 million question, or should I say the $14.99 question, should you buy this game? As I said at the beginning, I think you should. I think it's $14.99 a perfect price. I think $14.99 is a perfect price for every indie game. I think $14.99 is perfect because it is a meal. It's basically you go to a restaurant, you get a meal, and you're asking yourself, I always ask myself, is this game better than a meal? Would I have more enjoyment from playing through Gunbrella? It's a short game, mind you. It's only like 5 or 6 hours. You probably get through it quicker than me. I was looking for everything, trying to do all the side quests in the game. So, and a meal, to me, a meal is like, what, 30 minutes, 20 minutes? To me, this is more valuable than a meal. So I think $14.99 is great. I think you definitely should buy it if you like Metroidvanias, and honestly, if you like original stories. This game has a kind of darker, grittier video game story, I should say. It's a very video game-esque story. I don't know what kind of genre to define the stories like this, but it's a very Metroidvania-esque story. If you're into Metroidvanias, you'll feel right at home here. Overall, I would give it an 8 out of 10. I think it just needs to be a little bit longer, a little bit harder for me to go any higher with that. But the story's great. The mechanics are smooth. They're quick. They're snappy. I like them. Everything feels very smooth and responsive. Two of my big qualms with this game, I wish it was longer and harder because I want to see more of this universe, and I want to sweat when I fight the bosses. I'm a dirty Metroidvania player. I always want to lose to the bosses first time I fight them. I want to at least do 10 or 12 tries and be stuck on a boss for like 20 minutes to an hour. Yeah, harder bosses and a longer story, and I would definitely give this one a higher rating than an 8, but right now I'm giving it an 8. I mean, it's short, yeah, but it's good. There's nothing wrong with it. I think it was great. I like the story a lot in this. I think it was a great game. I'd definitely pay $15 to play this again if I'd never played it. I would definitely recommend everyone to buy it for 15 bucks if you're into Metroidvanias. And if you're into a darker, grittier kind of story, because that's definitely what this one is. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. This is Toad Knight, and thanks for watching.